You look at the archetype of somebody who really loves home and hearth, really emphasizing that the comforts of home and the comforts of the familiar is really what is sought by somebody who has Venus, which is all about what you love, what you care about. In Cancer, if you are a Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, or Virgo, welcome to this video. If you have this placement, I want to warmly invite you into this space where I'm going to be discussing what this placement means in depth. Really, what is encapsulated in Venus in Cancer. I know somebody who has this placement who is an aunt of mine that I really, really like a lot. So that is my personal connection. I really wouldn't mind having my Venus in Cancer, to be honest. But so anyway, getting into the traits and the dates of all the deity and the Haiti. Let's talk about the obvious. Is that there is a love and because Venus shows where you're putting the value on, where you're putting the spotlight on. And in this case, it's home and family. That value is going to shine right down to the heart and heart. It's going to be very, very succinct and focused on the home, on family. You value your house and your home tremendously and the people living in it. You want to make your house a safe haven. You'll prefer cooking, gardening, decorating, or any other activity that you can do around your house to make it the best space it can be. It's very important that you have a home that makes you feel safe and secure on an emotional level. Um, Love and relationships and partnerships must have an emotional aspect to it. It must have an emotionally meaningful aspect to it. That's what it must have. It's this aspect that's very, very deep entrenched in the really, really grinders of the things to say. You prefer long-term partnerships and relationships as opposed to short-term hit or miss, glitz and glam. You prefer the very long-term, seriously, emotionally invested relationships. Now, you can be cautious when it comes to matters of the heart. That's something very, very important to know. Is you're not the most get out, take a risk, make the first move kind of thing. You'll, like the crab, edge around the obstacle without going directly at the obstacle. You're cautious about who you let into your heart, who you let into your space. Now, think of Cancer. Think of its symbol, the crab. It has a very, very hard protective shell on the outside of it. But when you let your guard down, people discover that you're soft and squishy inside. You have a very loving aspect and attribute to you. Now, if you have this placement, you can also be very intuitive, picking up on others' needs and wants without having them say anything. You're just able to feel into what they need or what they want. You're very empathetic and compassionate. That's been very, very huge for you in your life, is this strong ability to be very empathetic in your relationship. So you may take time to open up if you're hesitant to show your heart to others. This may take some time. This may take some rugged stamina and work. Um, you put on a tough outer exterior, as I've talked about before. You're deeply afraid of being hurt. You don't want to be hurt. You don't want to be harmed. You want to be protected. You want to be safe. If you were hurt in the past, you don't want, you remember that person with what they did. You remember that hurt, and you will do anything in the whole wide world to avoid getting hurt again. Now, you are deeply afraid of giving your bones away and then having the other person give fake bones back. You want to warm up to somebody enough. You want to get to know them. And then when you get to know the person enough, then you open up. Then you reveal your true self. You're very sentimental and you may be attached to certain people or situations on an emotional level. And when those things go away, when those people move away from your life, you could experience a broken-hearted feeling. You're a very, very good listener if you have this placement. You're very, very good at listening to others, nurturing others through conversation. The emotional aspect of the relationship is definitely needed. You're hesitant and you need a very, very strong reason, a convincing reason to love, to value, to truly, duly in the relationship. Where you go out and about in the world seeking that particular person, you want them to be the cream of the crop. You want them to be the best that they can be when it comes to the best love affair ever. So, trust and loyalty have to be earned as you're willing not to be hurt again if you were hurt in the past. So, in order to earn others' trust and others' loyalty, you have to get to know the person very, very well. When you really love someone, you are dedicated and committed to your partner. You're very, very loyal as a partner. Mm. You need to really earn others' trust in order for them to truly open up to you. People have to earn your trust in order for them to open up to you and feel comfortable around you, and for you to feel comfortable around them. You want genuine sincerity and love. You carry an openness and a straightforwardness, which are important attributes to have in a Venus and Cancer relationship. So being honest about things, not brushing things under the rug is very, very important. You need to be cared for on an emotional level. You're very soft and romantic. You're extremely protective of your partner, protective of the people in your life. You're loyal. You're family oriented. Um, so it's important to prioritize self-care because if you're giving from an empty well, you're depleting yourself of your resources, and it's not serving you, and it's not serving others. So it's better if you, um, come back to center, ground yourself, meditate, do your self-care thing, where then you have enough energy to give out to the world. So allow yourself time to restore and replenish. You may have intense and deep emotions very, very strongly within you. It's important for um you to make time for self-care. As I said before, you're very nurturing, you're very unconditionally loving. You're very sensitive. You absorb things like a sponge. You absorb emotions like a sponge. Others' suffering and the suffering of the world can have a very, very powerful, strong effect on you. You're very sensitive to that. You need emotional stability in relationship. You can be artistically creative as well, beautiful with music and being able, because water signs can tap into the emotional element of that. Art, music, dancing, beauty of all forms, wonderful for that. You want your home to be both comfortable and beautiful at same time. You want a quiet and simple life. That's what you crave. You're good at taking care and nurturing children, so you're very good with children, getting to know children, taking care of them. Obviously, being a nurse, a teacher, those kind of careers would be good for you in that way. And the person that in my family who has Venus and Cancer was a teacher, an elementary school teacher in the past. So that just makes total sense. So, you deeply have a very, very strong relationship and connection to your mother. Your mother is a very, very influential, very important figure in your life. Venus and Cancer individuals want to make others feel comfortable and safe. You want committed relationships with what they are in. Um, Female figure is also very important and influential for you in your life, not just your mother. You, the downside of this placement, like any Cancer placements, particularly the Moon or South Node in Cancer, is getting too overwhelmed and getting absorbed identify in all of the emotions, observe, don't absorb, be in the world, not of the world. So, um, take a step back and, playing your board, gain some perspective, get out of the emotions and look to, your intuition and discerning what is emotionally serving you, what isn't, um, because you may be overwhelmed by all these feelings. You may get emotionally attached to whom you love. You may be quiet, you may be shy, you may be cautious. You need emotional belonging and connectedness, like no other in relationship. Emotional belonging and connectedness are two big values for you. You crave emotional security and deep connection. You want a career based around creativity and sensitivity where you can utilize your instinctual gifts. So any career like being a creative writer or musician or anything like that or composer, wonderful for you for that. Careers that allow you to nurture and take care of others are also a good fit for this placement. So that is what I have on Venus in the sign of Cancer. I will be back to talk about Venus in the sign of Leo in another video, so tune in for that installment of the series. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video, which might be on Venus and Leo, or if you're watching this on the day that this is getting published, it might be the weekly astrology for the week of October 19th through the 25th, I believe. Um, yeah, 19th to the 25th. So, anyway, one of those videos, I'll be filming those videos. So, anyway, bye for now.